Hey guys, welcome back to the Traveling Transformer. This episode's gonna be short, a little bit different, mainly because I don't have a guest. It's just me. I created this platform, this podcast, about a year ago, right after Gen Con. At Gen Con, I had asked Jamie Madison to come on and do a podcast with me and sit down and have a nice chat. And throughout the year, I've had a bunch of chats with all sorts of people, friends of mine that I have now that I didn't have before. And that's what this was about. It was about just conversations about the game and how we feel about the game and so much more. I think it's important to hear the so much more. And that's kind of what I want to do right now. I've had all week, to think about what happened and why it happened and how it happened. And to be bluntly honest, it doesn't matter. None of us could have made a difference. None of us could have changed that outcome. And if it makes anybody feel any better, it's not just us. It's not going to be just our game. It's not going to be just games in general. There's a lot of people suffering, and there's a lot of businesses suffering, and there's so many things that's out of so many people's control, which is incredibly unfortunate, to be honest. But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I contemplate what is and how we got to where we are, and it's not even worth me talking about those things, because quite honestly, they don't matter. But what I can say is, one of my big slogans since February, and I'm purposely wearing the shirt, "Just keep fighting." As many of you know, if you don't, maybe you don't know, maybe you haven't listened, but my son has autism, and right around that time, Kevin Owens, a wrestler of mine I'm a fan of, he came out with this shirt, and it's called "Just Keep Fighting." And it's just the spirit of never give up, never quit. And that's the exact spirit that I'm going to take into this new life of the game. We love this game. I'm not the only person. I know I'm not the only person. I've seen the love from so many people with this game, and how committed they are and how involved they are, and it's remarkable. I've never been a part of anything or any community like that, and quite honestly, this is the second game that I've been a part of now that's unfortunately, quote, died. And when World of Warcraft died, I was much younger. I wasn't a content creator. I wasn't involved. I wrote an article from time to time, but it was nothing anywhere close to the commitment that I had to this game from almost the very moment that I had started playing. I started playing the game at PAX Unplugged 2018, which was in December. And by the time the end of January came around, I had convinced Scott to let me start a YouTube channel. I felt that it was important. I felt that it was something else that we could do. It was something that I could do to help the team get better, and it was very important to do that. And I've taken it very seriously. In the very beginning, we had so many bumps that annoyed me that I had to find out and I had to figure out, and it was such a, I don't know, experience. It's experience. It's all of those things that piled into one thing that led to this incredible year that I had last year playing the game. I really did. I second place at Origins, top 16 at Gen Con, when I literally never played games in the month of July almost. And then, winning the Energon Invitational, I can't say it enough times, but when it comes to me as a card player, which I have been for my entire life almost, I've been playing cards for 20 years easily. That moment, that incredible moment of winning and being presented with that trophy and the idea of creating a card, like all those things were just so remarkably incredible that, the idea that I'm not ever really going to have a shot in this game to have one of those moments again it's really sad. It's sad. But what I can say is I'm grateful. I really am. I'm incredibly grateful. There's so many good things to take away from last year. Just I met so many people. I started this traveling transformer almost a year ago. It was right after Gen Con. My first guest on the show was Jamie Madison from Powered by Primus. We had a phenomenal conversation at Gen Con. And I wanted to continue having conversations like that. And throughout the year I did. Every time I met someone new and I felt like, I wanted to have another conversation with them, to let everyone else hear what I had met, like the person that I had met and that I had enjoyed their company of. And I had so much fun doing those. And I don't intend to stop by any means, but the traveling obviously it's going to be a lot harder to meet newer people, just because, same reason why the game is no longer being printed. But, the real thing is just keep fighting. It's a moniker that I've been going with all year, and it's really the only thing we can do. The moment they announced it, yes, I was in silence. I was 10 minutes of silence on the phone with Scott. I didn't see the announcement. I didn't hear it. I didn't see his text message. All I got was a phone call, and all I knew was the game was over. And yeah, that's tough. Yeah, just complete silence of shock and sadness. But, the moment you get the initial hit, is obvious, but it's always about what you do after. And I don't have any regrets that the moment I had got past the okay, this happened, it very, very quickly turned into what do we do. And Scott and I and Vin were on the phone for a while I was working, and we said we got to get together. So the game was canceled at 9:30 in the morning, which for the record is 6:30 a.m. From Seattle, where Drew posted that. And from 9:30, by the time we got to 3:30, I was already sitting at dinner with Scott, and we sat in that restaurant for 3 hours. Yes, I had a few beers. Toast to the game, toast to the patrons. But for 3 hours we just hit every nail on the head and just did whatever we felt we could, and discussed like what was possible, what could we do, how can we do it, and all those things are just kapa kapa kapa, it happened so fast. But that's how we work. That's how Scott and I think. It's always adapt. It's always move on. It's always, A, B, get to Z. It really is. It's very important for us to move and react in those ways. It's just, I don't know, instinct. That's all I can really say, instinct. So we got together with the people that had reached out, and we felt the need to reach out to talk to say, hey, we're going to do this, and do you want to do this? And almost all of them agreed, which was, pretty phenomenal. And I don't know. It shows a couple things. It shows respect both ways. Like it's very important that if you're gonna dabble and you're gonna really make a commitment that we decided to pretty quickly, you got to know who you're getting into bed with, and you got to know, what it's going to entail and what it's going to take. And trust is a huge factor. Respect is a huge factor. It's all important. It really is. And it's just keep fighting. It's really that simple. It's been this whole year through everything. It's unfortunate. It sucks. But, let's make the best of it. That's where I was. That's where I came to. I came to is, how can we make the best of this? And do I know for sure it's going to work? No. No, I don't. But I have faith, and I believe in the people that I'm going to work with to make this happen. And that's really the best that we can do. Just take that shot, take that jump, take that leap. All those things balled up into one, to be honest. And it's going to be exciting. It really is. I'm genuinely excited to see how this unfolds and how this reacts, and the community's reaction to what we do and how we do it. And I don't know, it's sadness mixed with excitement. I'm not exactly sure what that word is right now, but I don't know, it felt really important that I do this. And before I guess I completely wrap it up, I think it's important to thank the Wizards team for the effort they put in creating a game that we love. I'm not saying it's their fault that it's not here any longer. I'm sure it's a combination of a bunch of different things in the end. But the start of all that is an idea, and then they took that idea and they gave it 2 years, 3 years of life through them testing it and creating it and getting it in our hands. And then, we got a full year of it, kind of a, I don't know, maybe a fourth of a year into it again, but realistically, that full year of Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4, all very different metas, all, at interesting times when events were happening, etc. And just so much excitement with all those things. And it was a good year, it really was. And I think it was good for everybody, whether you were a competitive player, you were a casual player, whether you were just a fan of Transformers. Like, the things they had done in this game were interactive, they were creative, they were interesting. Part of me wishes maybe we got Titans a little sooner, and maybe we were able to get, one event in with Titans officially, at least officially. But we didn't, and that's okay. There is no more officially. It's, it is what it is type stuff. But, it's important that we don't let this game die. It's important that we stand up and we take over and we fight for a game that we love, right? I mean, it's all that it is. The more you think about it, like, what other game are you going to go to right now? There's no new game coming out. There's nothing new to play. If, maybe a video game, sure, because they can release those, and that's what people are spending a lot of time on. But when it comes to a card game, there's not going to be a card game, especially not a non-digital card game that comes out anytime in the near future, because it would be disastrous. They'd end up right where Transformers is right now before they even started. And it's a huge factor of, hey, like, this is it. This is the game that I love. This is the game that I committed from the very, very beginning. Those very first games I played with the Dinobots in Wave 1, all the way to any of it. I don't know. There's just nothing better. There's not a better game to play right now, in my honest opinion. And I don't plan on playing another game. I believe in this game. I believe that the team has given us enough resources to go off of to continue this game for quite some time. And honestly, quite some time before we even really create anything new, anything exotic, anything crazy. I believe there's enough in the game as is right now to where we can utilize the resources given to us and continue the game in current existence. And I think that's important. I think it's very important because I don't want to quickly forget the game that they gave us and quickly forget all of the wonderful things that they have already done for it. And yeah, that's really it. I think it was a crazy week. I think it was a dramatic week, a hard week, a tough week. Everybody was hit by this. Everybody was upset, and everybody was, I don't know, frustrated. All those things, anxious, nervous, so many emotions. I went through it for days. I barely talked to a lot of people, just because I was sad. I really was. I was sad. And hey, I think that's okay. Personally, I think it's okay to admit things like that. I think it's okay to, feel that way. I mean, it's kind of like a breakup, like you love something. I love this. I love this game. And honestly, like I loved the creators and the designers of this game because I had so many good conversations with them. Like Matt and Drew, every conversation I've ever had with those guys have been a phenomenal conversation. It's been one that I've walked away with feeling better about the game, and it's kind of sad to think that we may never have those conversations again. I may never have another conversation with Drew or Matt, in a public setting, in a convention. It's sad. It really is. But everything they did to create this game and design this game, I think it's important to stick to those for as long as we can, and just continuing what we're already doing, loving this game. I think it's important. I don't know, and at this time, I don't know I have anything else to say, other than, if you're worried, if you're concerned, if you're upset about our announcement, of how we're going to continue what we're doing with competitive play, and we created the committee to, basically help us. And it's not even just us. I mean, like, it's honestly, it's us as a new meaning for VectorSigma.info. It's, the committee is bigger than VectorSigma.info. It really is. It's only 3 of us, with a plethora of other community/event/content creators. I think that's very important to note and for everyone to understand, is that we very much needed help, and we very much were excited that half of those people in the room reached out. Some of them were very quick to react when we reached them. And I think that just shows the respect that we all have for one another. I think that's important. I really do. I think in order to complete the goal of the continuation of this game, it's incredibly important for everybody in the room to have that trust and respect in one another. And that's what we have. That's what we're going to go with. And I'm really, really excited to get involved, and I can't wait to show you guys what we're doing, because it's not going to be behind closed doors. Everything we do is going to be in the light. The community's going to see it. We're not just going to be like, hey, here's 15 new cards you've never even imagined. Like, no, like, everything we do will be in the light, and you'll see it, and you'll be able to tell us about it. I'll be on stream. I'm going to play cards. Other people are going to be on stream. They're going to play with these cards, and you're going to have a voice. And for what it's worth, the voice is going to be respected. If you see something that's crazy, let us know. If you see something that looks like shit, let us know. It's important. It's important that everyone feels that they are involved, and I think that's going to be the best way for it to happen. And I'm very much excited. I'm looking forward to doing those things. As far as the tournaments go for Vector Sigma.info, they're going to keep coming. We have one scheduled every month, at least for the next couple. And as soon as we start hammering out these cards and where they're going to be, we'll know more. And that's the plan. When we know, we're going to release the information. And that way, everyone has enough time to figure out what they want to do with that information as soon as they possibly want to. And I think that's important also, is that we need to stay more public and more vocal about those things. And yeah, I I think I'm done. I think I'm done rambling. Like I said, it's a week, a long week. And I know, honestly, anyone that's probably listening to this and still listening to this, like, they felt it. They felt what it was like to lose something. And the only thing that I can possibly tell you to maybe put a smile on your face is that, yes, we lost it in one way, but we gained it in another. And I assure you that we are going to do everything we possibly can to make this game feel again, and to put it back together, and to do our best to make it seem like it's not even actually missing anything. And I hope we can do it. And I hope you guys give us the chance to do it. Until next time, hopefully I definitely have a guest for the next one, but I felt it was right to be solo for this one and just voice all that. But, until next time, guys. See ya.